Hi, thank you guys so much for shifting. I had some technical difficulties with TikTok rules, so spontaneous shift to Instagram. I'm just going to give my guest a few minutes, then we'll get into it. Hey, how are you, Aura? Okay, there's everything, Aura. There's hi, Moenya. Hi, Mawela. So, oh, thank you. So I'm just waiting. Yes, I'm so excited for this conversation. I've got a couple of good questions that, I'd love to hear from her. Just waiting for her to join. I think she has to come on the live. So, guys, just waiting for my guest and we will get going. In the meantime, okay, so she is joining just now.
Oh my God. I hope you can see me.
Okay.
Oh, the setup in this office is so messy. Oh my God. Hi,
It's okay.
girl.
We're here. Yeah.
Hold on. Let
I
me,
see
let
you.
me take it up a bit. Hey, girl.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Why do you sound so far?
Oh my,
Can you hear me? Am I
I can,
audible?
I can. It's probably because of the room. I hope I'm quite audible.
Well,
Okay.
hi. I had to make sure that I got home in time, washed my face. I get ready for this because I am so tired, but I'm so excited. I hope people get to learn from this
Definitely.
interview.
Definitely. Okay, guys, since we are here, so I'm going to introduce my lovely guest. Guys, none other. She is the amazing, the phenomenal from Lewachomu to Dubai. She's
Girl!
an attorney, attorney at that. She is a travel blogger, having stamped 11 countries on her passport. Guys, please help me welcome Khupojo.
What an intro!
Yeah.
Yo, I feel so honored. What a privilege.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad to honestly have you on this live and just to get to know you. It's literally a chat about
Yeah.
finance and everything in between. So now to not keep our audience waiting, I'm just going to get into it. I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who you are, what's shaped you, who's shaped you into the woman that you are today.
Okay, just so that people have some bit of knowledge. You guys, these questions are random, so I'm not even prepared. So if I take a
Yes.
minute
It's very
to
random what I'm
answer,
about
please
to
bear with
ask.
me. So who I am and what made me shape the woman that I am today.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
of course.
Okay, so in short, my name is Khupojo Motalipula Lebepe. Those are my full names.
Okay, okay.
I am born and bred Limpopo, Lebahomu. Lebahomu is a small town in
Yeah.
Limpopo where my mother actually comes from. That's where I grew up. I am a 27-year-old
That's,
black female that stays
yes,
in South
yes.
Africa proudly. I am an admitted attorney by profession, and I'm also a content creator. I love it so much. I love creating content. but my 9 to 5, I am actually a marketing and communication officer, which I also love. Lore, marketing, communication, kind
A
of
lot
different,
is
right? Doesn't make sense. That's not align, but to be honest, this is my dream job. And I would say that the woman that I am today was definitely shaped by a lot of my mother's prayer, advice, church, God, church, God, church, God, and
okay.
mothers. Like, I don't want to lie, growing up, my mother would always tell me, stay away from boys. Boys will never give you anything in life besides giving you a baby. You get it? So,
I know we've all been told. We've all been told.
listen, I took that to heart. I kept telling them I took it to heart to a point where I was literally so scared of I was scared of boys in high school. I never dated until like after high school. Like literally my first serious boyfriend was after
Okay.
varsity, and it was literally because I took a gap year. I graduated my high school in 2025, took a gap year, and then went to varsity in 2017. I got my first boyfriend there. So the woman that I am, definitely a community, my church, my parents, my family, and the friends and family that I keep close to me. I could never say that I am the person that I am because I'm no.
I
It's the
hear that.
people that surround me. Yeah.
It really is. Hey,
Yeah.
and without people, we really wouldn't be where we are. And I'm so glad that you actually mentioned these people because you carry them when you walk into rooms, you carry them when you have
For
conversations.
sure.
So, the next question I actually have for you is why an attorney and travel blog? Those are like polar opposites. So I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out here, guys. I am easing her before we get into the chats of the money.
Why
So,
an attorney and a blogger?
yes, like why did you choose to be an attorney and why did you choose to become a travel blog?
Because those are two different things, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So lore, I always say this, right? I always say this. I am a creative at heart
yeah.
and I am an academic by choice.
Okay.
So when I graduated, Kametriki, my math and my physics were giving, it was,
Relatable.
yeah, it was bad. But everything else was actually good.
Mm,
My APS score was quite high. So I took a gap year, and then my dad was like, go back, go improve your math and your physics.
yes.
Because, that's like a norm.
That's
You know
a
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
go
true, true.
back, go sharp grant. So I did that, and it came back the same way. I think even my maths was like 2% worse than the actual initial
Okay.
like final mark and matric, which is quite hilarious.
Mm,
So and then my dad was like, you know what, let us work with what we have. Like I said, the rest of my subjects were quite good. It was just my maths and my physics. So with law, as long as your APS score, I think is 30, not 30, yeah, 30, if I'm
mm,
not mistaken. I'll have to verify that.
yeah.
And then so I got in. My dad literally went and registered law for me. My dad is actually an advocate by
Oh
profession. So he went and
wow.
registered
Okay.
law for me. And I was like, you know what?
Let's see
Clearly,
where this goes.
beyond being a being a gynecologist is also not working because my math and my physics was
Yeah,
horrible. Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm like, let's just go straight into law. And I don't know, man. I just feel like that's just God redirected me to a better profession that I
mm,
never knew that I needed. And I just I fell in love with it. I killed it. Literally graduated
yeah. Let's
my,
go,
you
boss
get
babe.
me, like,
Go.
period. I graduated 40. I graduated with 20 distinctions
Okay,
modules out of the
shine,
40 modules. So that's
shine.
50% of the modules that were with distinctions. And then I went straight to law school, got into a law firm, and then even when I was writing my board exams, I passed
Wow.
them and got admitted. And then travel because I was a UNISA student. So UNISA students don't necessarily have traditional
Yes,
classes,
yes,
right? We don't
yes.
attend classes. So I had all the extra time in the world. A friend of
Okay.
mine was like, yo, your personality, you need to go on radio. So that's exactly what I did. I volunteered at a local radio station called One Nation FM, and then I gradually started doing sports. So I was a sports freelancer as well. Listen,
Okay.
I did a lot of things that I can't
You
really put in here at once. And then we got invited by LTA. LTA is Limpopo Tourism Agency.
Oh
It's an
wow.
agency. It's a department agency that promotes tourism in the province of Limpopo. Every single province has that agency.
Okay.
So we got invited as the media to come and cover the latest scope, what Limpopo is offering and whatever. And then I just got straight into that. So the benefits of that, they used to like take media to all these resorts. Girl, I was like, I'm gonna post this on social media.
Yes, definitely,
And then
definitely.
from then I just fell in love with travel.
Okay, okay. I hear guys. Yes, she's been at this. She's been at this.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. Yes, I'm agreeing because you are clearly doing
Thank
it all. But like
you.
that is amazing. Like I'm just looking at how this redirection happened from you wanting to be a gynae, now you're an attorney, and the fact that you're attorney at UNISA gave you this opportunity
Yeah.
to actually get into tourism, and now it led to this huge profile where you ended up in places people are only dreaming about.
Right.
Wow, girl,
Thank
kudos to
you.
you. So, I actually want to know, what was your first country? Like,
Oh,
where did you
my first country was in Botswana, and how that came about, actually, funny enough. So one of the company's CEO, the owner of the company, I met the guy also at one of the LTA's meetings, and he's like, "Listen, I like your energy." He couldn't come, but his company was selected to go and represent Limpopo to Botswana.
Wow.
So he's like, I want you to go represent my company. Listen, girl, everything was paid for: flights, accommodation, food.
So,
I was good.
living the
That was my
dream.
first country, and it was like still sponsored because of tourism and everything. It's just like, when you put yourself in situations where you know that you're gonna get opportunities, yeah. And I got papa not naturally, like I took a lot. So he's like, "Listen, I love your personality. Go." I killed it. They came back with the
Let's
results, and
go. Let's go.
yeah. But I didn't explore Botswana the way I wanted to because it was work.
Yes.
But yeah, that was my first country.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. I hear you. I hear you. So I think from this, I'm getting a pitch from Bros Media, Bros Beats. I think they would also love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So I think that is actually amazing because you actually touched on one of the questions I was going to ask, like how did you find your first trip? But clearly, guys, if you heard what she just said, putting yourself out there for the opportunities you want. And this is definitely just, this interview is exactly that. I put myself out there. I literally was walking by, I saw her phone, and I said, "Are you a content creator?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you mind doing an interview?" And here we are. And literally here we are chatting it up, getting to know you,
Yeah.
and like, giving people some knowledge in what you do and how you became you and you got here. So it's really
Thank
awesome, to
you.
hear from you.
Thank you.
So I'm still asking. I'm still
I
asking.
swear, I have all the time in the world.
So you've traveled to a lot of countries. I've seen on your page, you've gone to Egypt, you've gone to Dubai. So these are big girl purchases, big girl flight tickets, big
Yeah.
girl suitcases. So I want to know, how did you actually like budget for these trips, or were these also sponsored trips? And if somebody wants to get,
I like that sponsorship.
we
Yeah,
need to
we know
make
what's up.
sure how.
We don't have high expectations.
But I trust that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure those trips are funded by you. So I want to know how you budgeted for those trips, the strategies you could use, because I want to see myself on a plane ticket to Dubai very soon. And I need to know what it's like to plan a trip. Yeah, so let's go into it.
Okay, so with full transparency,
Yeah.
right? My recent trip right?
Mm.
From Egypt, from South Africa to Egypt, Egypt to Dubai. Yes, I did have to use my own money for all of that. I just need to, because I am in a relationship and my boyfriend stays in Dubai.
Okay.
So the first time I went, I didn't pay.
Okay.
That one I must put
Okay.
out there. I
Legit.
shame. Everything was taken care of.
Love it. Love the
But
provide.
because the recent one was my birthday trip and I went with a friend, so we started planning. I think the beginning of this year. I knew for sure that. Yeah, I know. We went in April. So yeah, we started planning the beginning of this year, and like, okay, she's like, let me look into my savings. I already knew. I had an idea of how much I was gonna budget
Yeah.
for. And like I said, I'm not a foreigner to how much you might potentially spend on a trip, because
Yeah.
you might budget for like 15 to 20, and then you might actually end up spending 25 to 30K
Okay.
or more,
These
depending.
salaries are being
Depending.
mentioned, guys.
Yeah. So when you book your flights earlier, they are cheaper.
Okay.
For example, a direct flight from South Africa to Egypt is like 15K, 16K, thousand, right? And then we use Qatar. So Qatar was like 11 or so,
Yes.
11,000. You save like 6K. You can
Yeah.
even use cheaper options like your Kenya Airways,
Okay.
Ethiopian Airways. They are way cheaper. When you get your tickets way earlier, like 6 months prior or 4 months, you might get them at a cheaper price. Like already, I know where I'm going in December.
So you already plan for
For
these
sure,
things, you know.
you need to.
Definitely, you
You
can't
have
just. We're not there
to.
yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
You
Soon, soon, I was
need
like, oh,
to
let's go.
plan. You need to plan. You can't wake up unless you have all the luxury in the world to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point right now to wake up and be like, let's go. You know what
Let's
I mean?
go.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. No, but no. I plan my trips. I'm a planner. I prefer to plan my trips. So my friend and I did exactly that. It helped that I had to travel with
Yeah.
her. So we
Yeah.
split the accommodation, we split the transportation. So I would recommend travel with someone,
Yes.
because solo traveling can be expensive. Besides having to look into the safety of things,
Yeah.
it can be expensive. So if you know that, okay, I'm going to spend 11K to 12K for return flights, and then for example, if the accommodation was like 10,000, if you're with a person, you divide it by two, it's
It makes
5K. And then
perfect.
transportation, you save with that, and then restaurants, you save with that, because we split the bill most of the time, not all the
Yeah.
time. Because I don't drink alcohol,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna pay your bill. Yeah, yeah,
And
no
guys,
way.
honestly, that one drink is literally the meal for someone
Yeah,
else.
there
So
was a point where she bought a bottle. I'm like, babe, I'm not gonna pay for that bottle. Because that's the thing about finance. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You need to know. You have to have the discipline to be able to say, this is what I'm going to be spending on, and this is what I'm going to be spending on.
yes.
You can't pop
Especially
off.
when you're overseas and you're like, I need to get back home.
Like, no, you're gonna get back home
But like,
because I'm getting
not to an empty
already
fridge.
booked. But
Not
you're
to an
gonna go back home empty, like you're gonna die.
no.
So yeah. So I won't disclose how much everything was in total, but
It's
let me
okay.
tell you something. It was not. So I would say that my flight from SA to Egypt, Egypt to Dubai, and Dubai to South Africa was roughly around 20 something K, 25.
Okay.
Yeah, because the direct flight from South Africa to Egypt was like 6K, and then I had to pay another extra, was it 13K, somewhere there, from Egypt for like the Egypt to Dubai, Dubai to South Africa. And then the accommodation it was not that bad, but yeah, you have to
Okay.
budget.
You do
So that one was
definitely.
not sponsored. No, the latest trip was not
Thank
sponsored.
you for your honesty. So, guys, when you're liking those pictures on her page,
No,
you
keep
know
that
she
in
funded
mind.
herself.
If I'm going
She
back
planned.
to Dubai 3 times a year, chances are it's not my money.
Oh, okay, got you. So now I actually want to talk about branding. So if I look into your page, you have this aesthetic going on, and actually you're this travel blogger. How did you get to a place where you could actually monetize some of what you do? You know, it may not be there fully, but to a degree, I assume there's some brand deals that have come your
Right.
way through what you've posted. You know, somebody's probably watching, like, maybe I'm actually into travel. How do I become somebody that can get a deal or actually monetize my passion, you know? So I'd like to hear that from you.
Again, meeting the right people, opportunity. I took a lot, child. Like, I've been talking it up, you know what I mean? And one thing about me, I'm very intentional
Yeah.
about every single thing that I do. I don't just put it out there. I don't just post. Like,
Okay.
I look at it, you know, I'm very, very, very intentional. So even with the work, for example, if I bag a brand deal, I go out of my way.
Yeah.
Like, I have a
Yeah.
camera. So some content doesn't need you using a camera.
True,
But
true,
I
true.
don't mind going beyond and above to make sure that, listen, next
They
time when you come up with
know.
another campaign, my
Mm,
name is on it. And you get to, you know, interact with like brand managers of
yes,
certain, you know,
yes, yes.
like, you know, media companies, when different brands come to them, they now look for influencers. So those
Yeah.
influencers would then recommend and be like, listen, I've seen this person do this, this,
Okay.
that, and da 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 da. Your work must always speak
It must
for
be
you. Like,
definitely
I go beyond and above. Like, I will make sure, like, if I'm putting it out there, that's my best. I
true.
don't do mediocre. You know what I mean? So then people look at your work, and you know, you just also need to find what works for you. You know, you need
True.
to find your audience. I know that I get more engagement when I post certain things compared to when I post certain things. So
Yeah.
your page has to have a balance. You need to post
Yeah.
things that you like, and then you also need to post things that the people like, because they follow you
Yeah.
for a reason. You
They
get
do.
me?
They
You
do.
get
I mean,
like,
it's like you being an artist and they're listening to your music. You know,
exactly,
sometimes you have to be an artist for the love of art, and sometimes you're doing it to actually please your
your
followers. I,
audience. You know
I
what I
get
mean? I know, like with my travel content, I love me a good bikini. So I know if I post that with the view, I'm popping
let's
off.
go.
I'm going off. It's not even
Yeah.
like that's not because I know that majority of my followers, I will show you my analytics after this. Majority of my followers are men. You get
And it
me?
happens. It
And
happens. I mean, there are
nothing I can do about that. I
yeah,
get it. You females don't want to follow us. So, like I said, when you look into those things, you need to look into what gives engagement. Is that what you're looking for? Or do you want to just have your page as a gallery? Or do you actually want to monetize? You need to decide. You need to
you need to
sit
yeah.
yourself down and be like, because my Twitter, majority of the time, I'm on Twitter for monetization. You would be surprised that the page that I get most money from is actually
Oh
Twitter
wow.
compared to my Instagram. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I actually want to
Yeah.
dive into
So
that.
yeah, you need to post content that's for you, and then content that's for the people. You need to give the people what they want. Obviously, making sure that it's in alignment with who you are, because at the
Yeah,
same time, like I spoke about how I can easily post a bikini picture with a view, but I know that besides the male factor, there's a lot of young women and females
they're
that are
also
not
watching. Yeah,
confident with their body, and they when they look at my body type and they're like, she can pop off wearing a bikini. Because growing up, I was so insecure with my body
yeah,
and my body type. I wouldn't see a lot of women with my body type wearing bikinis, being comfortable. So the fact that I can be that for somebody else
yeah.
is okay with me,
That's
for real. And that's
that's
generally what I enjoy. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna like quickly recap for those that have just joined, and which was just letting us know basically into her life of how she's monetized her brand, and she's done this through several ways. You need to understand who you're speaking to. You need
Mhm.
to actually know your audience. And now, I actually still want to go back to the Twitter chats. Girl, what do you mean Twitter is where the bag is at? Here we are
There
trying
is
to
where the
TikTok and
money's at, baby.
Instagram. Don't gatekeep.
I'm not kidding. Like, besides the fact that Elon Musk has
Yes.
done that whole, you can be verified, and
Yes.
when your tweet gets like attention, you actually get paid for that.
Oh
Unfortunately,
wow.
me, I don't know how it works because I'm not verified on Twitter, but I am under an agency that has their own clients that look for influencers. Though, so they have a database, and
Okay.
I got in because of a friend of mine. I don't want to
Yeah,
lie.
again, back to
She
network.
plugged me, and I've been in it. And that's the thing, when somebody puts your name forward, you always have to make sure that
You also
you
present it well.
make sure you don't disappoint your friend, and
Yes.
you know what I mean, just to keep yourself there. So yeah, Instagram, I don't really get a lot of I don't remember the last time I got paid off Instagram,
Okay.
if I had to be honest, in terms of brands, because I think they have their
They
people.
do
You were talking
or
about
they do.
gatekeeping. That is a thing in South Africa. That is a thing in the world. Your content can be amazing, you can be
Yeah.
phenomenal, you can have engagement, you can have this and that. I'm not saying that's me, but I'm just saying,
Yes.
hypothetically speaking. And then sometimes you won't have brand deals, sometimes you do. It depends. But
Yes.
to be honest, I would be happy to get more brand deals on Instagram if it was possible. But right now, my biggest bag comes from Twitter. I
Okay.
literally just got paid like close to 5K from
Wow.
Twitter campaigns
Wow.
just like this week alone.
Wow.
And that's just this week
Girl,
alone. How are you
okay.
already doing? Tweeting
And literally, Twitter
your
is one
heart
of those you
out.
just have to
People
type.
are
You don't
getting
even need to put
paid.
okay, now we know. Now we
Right.
know. Now we're gonna be telling how to make it as a content creator. Start on Twitter. Don't think
Well,
about these other platforms.
10
So
followers and no people,
yeah,
because
of
I
course.
have like right now 46, 45, 45,000 K
Okay, that's a
followers. I'm
big
not
follow. So
certain.
it does help. Yeah.
I don't know, but I've seen people on the same paid campaign with me that have like 5K followers.
Wow.
So again, it's knowing people.
Yeah.
People replying. Retweeting.
Please retweet, reshare, it's insane, guys. All right. So, still moving on, I actually want to go into something that this is one of the first conversations we had when I met you, and
Yeah.
it was how you made you realized that I need to take my finances seriously. You were like, girl, I was at 25 and I realized I had nothing. And I'm like, no, this needs to change. And now looking at you at 27, you're out here traveling, you're out here making bank, you're making sure that, you're this boss babe. When you're looking good, you're flying out, you're still making sure the bank is fat. So, yes, exactly. So I really just, want to dive into what changed, what triggered this transition into, I need to take my finances seriously, I need to do better.
Yeah. Okay, this is my favorite conversation.
Let's go.
Because I think it's so important to talk about freedom, financial literacy,
Yeah.
and financial freedom and stability. But before I go into the year I started investing, I grew up in a family. I don't come from a rich family. Okay, I am not a rich
You're not
kid.
you're
Yeah,
not what's this, a trust fund baby.
yeah, just to put it out there. And
Yeah.
growing up, my mom again, because my mom was a natural hustler. My mom
Okay.
was a taxi driver. She was a
Wow.
taxi owner. She was a taxi owner and a taxi driver. She had her own salon. She was working a 9 to 5. Like my babe
Wow.
was. So growing up, obviously, how parents are. My money is my money. Your money is your money.
Yeah.
How? At 16, I had no idea. But I grew up with the hustler's mentality at a very young age. And I liked things. As you can see, I'm a girl. I look pretty. I got my
Let's
hair
go. Let's
did.
go.
I
Let's
got
go.
my nails done. Period. I liked things at a very young age. So, so there were certain things I couldn't get from my mom because they didn't make sense to her, but they made sense to
So now
me.
you're like,
So I was like, you know what?
to
What
get the
what
money.
can I do
Hmm.
to generate me money? Because it was also that era where we had a lot of sugar daddies and stuff. And me, I was going to church. Me, I was a church girl. So I was like, me, I can't do those things.
So I
I
need to
can't. You know what I mean?
focus. I need to think.
Morality, I can't. And funny enough, I actually got approached by one, and the Holy Spirit was like, girl, you better you know,
Run.
you better
Run.
run and do exactly that. So I learned how to braid hair.
Okay.
People that know me know that Hopocha used to braid hair back
Wow.
home. So that was something that I never thought I would love and enjoy.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm a creative at heart. So while I was busy doing my degree in law, I was also begging my own money while plaiting hair. It was simple. The only thing that I needed was my hands, my skills. This is all I needed. I didn't have to have a kickstart capital. I didn't need, no. Like, that's not what I needed, right? So they had to buy their hairpiece. They had to come up. And the only thing maybe I would say I would invest in is combs and gel and whatever. And that's it. So that's how I started making money at a very young age during my gap year. I would say I was 17, rather.
So you were really young. You finished school very young.
Yeah, I finished
So you've
school
been
a year early. So I was 17 when I finished my high school.
Oh, wow.
And then when I took the gap year, I finished school at 16 actually.
Wow, let's go.
17, between those. I'm not sure. Girl. And then way before the plaiting, I was also like working at these random restaurants again, trying to get that cash, trying to get that money. And then I found hair, and then I've been doing hair since.
So you're still now?
No, I'm not. I can't. I don't have time. You know, it got to a point where, like, I bought my iPhone with that hair money. I bought my MacBook.
Let's go.
Girl, I'm not enjoying. I got this MacBook with my hair money.
Okay.
You know, I saved money. So fast forward, I finished with my degree. And then from there, I go to law school, right? So law school, obviously, I didn't have the time now. The person that was actually continuing was my little sister. So my little sister used to come with me to clients. She would finish, I would start. She would finish, I would start. So that the work is fast. And then I would pay her. You know what I mean? Like, I would pay her for working. You know, it was not for free. And then gradually I would save money because I've been always big on saving. I don't like debt. I want it to be known. I'm not a fan of debt. Apparently there's good debt. I'm yet to know about it.
I'll teach you about it.
Yeah, I'm yet to know about it. I'm not gonna knock it out, but I'm yet to know about it. So yeah, I've always been a saver. And then fast forward to the 25 where I actually made such a bad decision with my money. I had money saved, right? I gave that money to somebody that I thought I was going to trust, right? And end up being a scam. That long story short.
I've been
not going to go into that. So my savings, that's when I realized I'm like, girl, you are messing up with your financial future. And by then I had actually went to I was continuing my articles at a different law firm, and that law firm was paying me, in my opinion, quite a lot for a candidate legal practitioner, but it makes sense under the institution that it was. So it paid me like, because I used to get paid like 6K at a law firm. So just to give a rough estimation, it paid me definitely triple the amount of that. And I was staying at home. I was not renting. I was still at home.
So
I could walk. Yes. I could walk to my workplace. So I didn't spend money on rent. I didn't spend money on petrol. I didn't spend money on installments. I didn't spend money on anything. I would help out in the house. So basically, I was able to save half of my salary.
Wow.
So when I started with my first investment, when I made that bad decision, I'm like, you know what? I first asked my friends, do you guys have financial advisors? At 25, I started asking that question, and one of them was like, "Hey, yes, very important, very, very important." So one of my friends was like, "Hey, I actually do," and then contacted her immediately. Then Lena, she's like, "Let's go, let's meet. When are you available?" Then we went through my salary, and she's like, "Okay, this is how much you have. How much are you willing to put away?" I'm like, literally half of it. She looked at me like I was dumb, like I was stupid. I'm like, half of it, babe.
I'm trying to build my wealth, girl. I'm
Yes,
serious about
because
it.
there's
Yeah.
also that thing, right? You need to be able to live below your means.
Ooh, we're gonna
Don't,
get back into that. We're going
yeah,
to
okay,
get back
cool.
into that.
So, yeah, that's how I started investing at 25 with half of my salary. And then I finished, got admitted, moved to Pretoria. I was able to keep the same amount that I was, paying all along, even though now I have to pay rent, I need to pay for petrol and everything else. But I've been keeping it there so far, and right now we are looking at least more than 250,000 in investments.
Wow. Guys,
More than a quarter.
guys.
I'm gonna get road
Girl.
hashtag roads to being a millionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hashtag road to financial freedom.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
honestly, you are.
that's
I'm
2
really so
years of
2 years.
literally committing to investments. I have, with my chest, more than half, I mean, not half, more than 250,000 in investments.
Girl,
Yeah.
girl,
I'm not
girl.
touching that money. I can't access
Yeah,
it. Like I
yeah.
can, but
You
like
should.
to
You
me,
should be
so
careful.
when
Yeah.
it comes off as a debit order. I treat it as money I don't have access
Mm,
to. One is for my policy. The other one is for 5 years fixed investment, and then the other one is flexibility if I need to access it anytime. But I don't. Like I just
you
look
know
at it and be like, "Shout out, proud of you."
Let's talk about that. I got money if I need it, but I'm gonna still live below my means.
Yeah.
You know, I think you've highlighted so many important things in like literally what you've just said. Firstly, from investing and how important it
Mm-hmm.
is. And I think I want to just go back to the fact that, guys, there is no get rich quick scheme to financial freedom. It's literally taken her 2 years to get to this point, and it's taken her like you having to put away this huge sum of money. Like it's not like, hey guys,
It's not 50 rand.
it's not 50 rand and it's not cute. Like trust me, I'm somebody who sees that debit order go off every month, and I know it's going to my investments, but I'm like, I also would like a new dress. I'd like to, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm working to this financial future where I can go to these places stress free, knowing that my investment is going to pay for this. And literally, that's literally the road you are on
Yeah.
right now. In like, I'm giving you like 2 years, 2 more years, and you literally will be traveling on your investments. You won't need a job. You just maintain your minimal lifestyle. And
Girl, the aim is to let it be then marinate. Wanna let it hit.
oh
Let
no, of
it hit
course
a
it will be
million. Then
I'm
we'll look
not saying
into.
you're using it. No, no, no. Remember, like it's gonna get its dividends. It's gonna pay out. Like it
Even with
while it's
that,
growing, it's
it was
paying.
chill.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you really highlighted a lot of things that people miss in this road. And guys, building wealth is not easy. It's not fun. It's not easy, but it has to be
Yeah.
done for the life you eventually once you get to. So I think we said we're going to circle back to it's this. I should have made a notes, girl.
Living below your
Living below
means.
means,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh
So
man. You see,
I before you get into it, I actually want to like go into the fact that it's Cyril's economy number one. Okay. Number two, you have again back to your branding and your aesthetic, you have this in place and you need to kind of maintain it. So that's a lifestyle. And you're telling me you're living below your means. I need you to dive. How do you not get pressured by other influencers doing what you do and trying to maybe, outshine ube sterinyana? How do you calm yourself from actually, just blowing it all in the aim of, what? It's a good time.
whatever.
Yeah, literally, you
YOLO.
only live once. And you actually just maintain this lifestyle knowing that, look, there's a plan. And sometimes it's hard to see that big 5 year picture plan,
Yeah.
no lie. But the fact that you're still so focused, shout out to
Thank you.
you. Shout out to you. But yeah, no, just go dive into that. Like, how do you do it? Like, honestly.
Well, like I said, I think it has a lot to do with the background I come from. I don't come from like flashy lights and
Yeah.
also being grounded. Like, when you're you're a church girl, nothing really impresses you because even the Bible tells you don't be impressed by the things of the
gold,
world.
the fat
You
things,
know
they
what
fade
I mean?
away.
Yeah. So subconsciously, those things don't impress you. Are they important? Money, yes, is important, right? But also the discipline of money is as important as having the money.
True.
I know that going back to the fact that I don't like debt. I never want to be in a situation where I sit down, ne, and I have nothing. That thought scares me because so many people say, oh, but you're gonna put your money away, you're gonna invest, but what if you die today?
And so?
I know who my beneficiary is. And that beneficiary, I even told the person, this is for education. Even if I'm gone, it's not for anything else. Besides, it's my nephew, by the way. It's my nephew's education. He's still young. I don't have a child.
Oh, yes.
Going back to it's Cyril Ramaphosa's economy, I'm not married, disclosure. Okay. I'm not married. I don't have a child. I do come from a family where we have 6 siblings, some of which I actually, once in a like I take care of on a monthly basis. But I still budget. I look at my salary. I look at my salary. I look at my salary.
I just want to highlight. Some of you are listening to her and you're avoiding your bank statement. Go see who you are. Go see
your real you, bro.
Who you are.
Yes, like I know that, okay, this is how much my expenses are. And this is how much I'm going to be left with. And this is how much is going to be going to my investments. And this is how much I do this with that, right? So I live like I cannot pressure, dog. I don't have the pressure of flying business class. Also, that's the thing about people, right? If you want to really grow your wealth at this age, you can't chase that lifestyle. You can't chase it, especially when you know that your salary or your income is not giving that lifestyle. You yourself, you know that it's not giving that lifestyle. If you ever see me in business, 1, it's either somebody else bought that ticket, or 2, it's a gift. And after seeing my finances, remember, my investments are already a debit order. So whatever's left over, I allow myself to indulge.
To spend, and that's important.
But even with that, Uri, I don't indulge. Even with that, I don't go, okay. I always make sure that, okay, let's see this 7K left for the indulgence, for example, right? I wouldn't be like, we're popping off that 7K. I probably would like pop off maybe like half or 3K and then making the other ones stay. Because there's things that happen in life that you need to always have a backup. So I'm not pressured whatsoever. I know my pockets. I know that right now, currently, I cannot afford to fly business. Right now, currently, I cannot afford to do certain things with my money, and I'm okay with it. But that doesn't mean that I can't now live my life however I want to. Like you said, if I travel internationally, I try my best with my money to at least travel to another country once or twice. And if you look at it, that's 6 months planning.
Yes.
Right? I already know where I'm going in December. I've already checked flights. I know how much flights are. When am I buying the ticket? This month.
Wow.
You get me?
So it's gonna be
it's gonna be way cheaper.
Budget, so you're not gonna feel it. You're
not gonna feel by the time, so you're gonna be like, oh, but Khubutu's always traveling. No, yes. But Khubutu plans.
He budgets.
Khubutu knows what is this money you can't spend more than you need to. My content money as well. I don't really touch it unless I have to. There's certain things like you just need to discipline yourself. I don't go out. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke happily, left that. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. So already you see, those are 2 things that I don't need, that the average South African spends a lot of money on. You go out, how much do you spend? Margarita, margarita alone, you see you're spending like close to 1K.
And then
I'm
after that,
drinking.
you
You're
guys are
thirsty. You
like,
can't
then
even
take
order a
it,
bottle of
hey.
water. Why no be good or no margarita the whole. So you need
Attack
to.
my followers,
No,
Haibo.
you need to discipline yourself. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
no,
Like, you
no,
need to
fair.
learn how
True.
to, when
I
you
agree.
go out. I know my friends always get surprised that I spend so much less money. Now I don't believe in splitting the bill.
No, you pay for what you actually spent on, because now somebody wants to go and go 50K for a meal,
On the comment,
and now you
I
must pay.
don't believe in splitting a bill. I don't drink, I don't smoke. So if you're my friend and you're drinking, you're ordering a bottle and you're smoking 2 hubby pipes, already that's more than 1,000 rand.
Yes.
So I must split that when I've never indulged in any of that. You see, this friendship thing like that must stop. So that's how you set yourself a balance. Where we can split is maybe if we're having soft drinks and we're
Yeah.
eating, then that's fine.
That's
I
amazing.
don't
Because
mind
around the
that.
same. It seems to be.
Listen, babe, I don't spend more than 300 rand when I go out personally.
And I mean, you still make it look so good. I think that's
Of
something you're
course,
very good at doing.
because even with my hair and my nail, I always check where can I get this service the same quality but cheaper.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of the time was so clouded by having like these
Yeah,
brands, these names, or who my nails got done by who my hair is from where. But at the end of the day, if you still show up looking your best and you got it done cheaper, there's no value loss there. It's actually a value gain for you, because
yeah,
now it's a little bit more money to your investments, a little bit more money to petrol, a little bit more money to the month, because some months are long.
maintenance is expensive, babe. It's
Let's not talk about that.
ridiculous.
It's
Karga
like,
economy ya
woo,
Ramaphosa. Hair alone these days ke tao.
definitely.
Miriri, tao. Woo! So yes, live below your means. I don't get pressured at all. I know where I'm headed to. I know the life that I want to create. I really don't care for whatever people think about. Like, it's my life at the end of the day.
True.
You know what I mean? Your opinions don't
It's
really
not going
matter.
to
I
validate me.
sleep
Don't.
better at night knowing that should I lose my job today, I'm good. Even with losing it,
Wow.
I have my hands. I'm still good.
You still
I'm still good. I'm
still
still good. Yeah.
Oh, that's really that's amazing, because I feel like we also get into this place where we're so heavily reliant on how other people are going to give us money, and we're not thinking about how can I actually create money, how do I use what I know, what I've learned to actually create this bag for myself,
Yeah.
because you've had this whole life to be learning something. There's something you're good at. And I'm glad that you're mentioning that look, yes, I have these degrees, yes, I have this job, but that's not the end all be all for my bag.
It's
I
just the beginning, my babe. I was telling
literally,
my friend, I'm like,
you are
I
the bag.
need to have at least minimum 5 income streams. 5
I'm
minimum.
I'm on you, because no, you can't just be living on one income
I'm looking
stream
at
and you're trying
that
to.
Forbes 30 and the 30.
Let's
I'm
go. Let's
looking at it
go,
like,
guys. Please
hello.
keep watch. Soon to be.
Yeah.
So I think just to go into, I think maybe, let's say, I don't know how many questions you still like to go into. One more, two more,
Let's
or
go.
so. Why would you tell people to invest? Because I think a lot of people feel, like you said, you did mention, people feel like, why should I invest? I could literally die and it's all gone tomorrow. Or why should I actually bother even saving? Like, why should they do that? Like, if you could just encourage, whoever's watching, who's going to watch, why should they invest?
I believe in rather be prepared than be sorry,
Yes.
right? We all don't know the time God decides to take you from earth at all. None of us know that date and time. So I could live for 100 years. Then what's going to happen? I must now be a burden to
To somebody
people,
else.
to my
Yeah.
family, to my kids, because you didn't prepare properly. You see that? I can't live with that. You understand? So, and even when God decides to take me earlier than I don't know, I
Yes.
still know that that money is not gonna
Going
go
to
in
help
vain.
somebody.
Like I
Yes.
told you, I told you
Definitely.
where it's going.
Yes.
It's not gonna go in vain. Somebody will get to appreciate that. You know what? My
Somebody sees
Popocho's
it.
money helped me get through varsity. My
Yes.
Popocho's money helped still keep food on the table, even when she's not around. That's what a
Yes.
responsible person does. You know, our purpose on earth is also to take care of people in and
Mm,
around us, not just ourselves. You
true.
understand? So it's so cringe for me. I always go on social media and I see all these, you know, celebrities. I would give that example because that's what I'm
Yes.
exposed to on social media, especially
That's
on
fine.
Twitter. These like icons on social media, and they're struggling. They don't even have money left. They don't have pension funds. They don't have insurance. They don't
Yes.
have, like, now they're on social media asking,
For
and
money.
there's no
And you're
shame in that. There's no shame in that. But it's because of the lack of financial literacy. Some of them don't do it on purpose. They were popping off during their prime. They were getting thousands of
and they were
followers.
not putting anything away. They
That's
were
what I'm
living
trying
for the
to
next
say.
for a
You
good
know what I
time.
mean? So it comes from understanding what life do I want for myself. I
And
told
it's
you
not
now,
just about
I have
today.
a
Yes.
goal in
Mm,
mind that I want to at least have minimum 1 million by a certain age
yes.
or whatever. Even if
Yes.
it doesn't happen, I know it will get there,
It
right?
will get there,
And
definitely.
I'm working towards that. But I don't know, man. Like, better be prepared than sorry. That's all I can say. Like,
True. True.
better be prepared than sorry. Because one thing about me, I hate being a burden. So now you're going to say, hey, yeah, who was traveling? I had to Dubai,
And then
Lady Bali, no so
coming back.
Latisha. Could never
Yeah.
be me.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'd rather make sure that, and it's a lot of money, man. I get paid a lot for my age personally,
Yes.
and I'm not saying like a lot, like yo.
And
No, for me,
no.
that's too much. And it's not that much.
We're getting there. It's not
It's
too
not that
much.
much,
It's in
but
the works. It's in the works. God is working and moving. It's
yeah,
in
God
the
is
works.
working, but now it's not that much. I mustn't lie.
Yeah.
You would actually be surprised how much my salary is and how much I'm able to save.
Wow.
You would be surprised,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I don't want to shoot to the
Don't
mess.
ask me. I'm not
Let's
going to
keep
answer
that
that
personal.
question. But it's not, but it's also that thing with the principle of saying when God trusts you with the little, he will trust you
Yeah.
with more. What
Yeah.
are you doing with the little that he's giving you? Yes, you want to be a millionaire, but can you make a lot or more out of, for example, this
Yeah.
20K that I'm giving you? Are you faithful with this 20K?
Yeah.
So that when I bring that 100K, you're not
You can be
shaking.
faithful.
You get
Yeah.
what? You're not. Even with that 100K, okay, that 10% goes to tithe. I still offer. This one goes to investments. This one goes to my expenses. This one goes to my family. This one goes to this. I'm left with this. I'm working with this. Even with what I'm working with, you are still a faithful person with what you are given.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's just that being wise with your money and having, you learn more. We met at a financial
Yeah.
presentation.
Actually, I didn't give that background. We were at an investment talk when we met, and literally that's when I approached her because obviously, if she's there, she's like minded. Yes, she's doing her content, but she's also like minded
Right.
to I want to get my bag up. I want to live this financially free life because it's not just about today. Yes, today may not be nice that I'm living a bit more like under my means, but I'm living for my tomorrow because, like you're saying, you don't want to be a burden. And it's tough because you can see a lot of like communities. If we are you see a lot of people, a lot of our grandparents,
Yeah.
a lot of people, uncles, aunties, they're so dependent on us because now when they have this opportunity to have work or like not even taking to celebrities, to the everyday person, they spent it like you're saying alcohol, they spent it girls, or they spent it
You'd
shopping. They were
be
not thinking about
surprised.
yeah.
Someone, like, during my Bali trip last year, November, kept on, like, I would go live and they would say, hey, send me your bank account, let me send you money. And I'm like, does your mother even have pots back home? Go buy
You
your
know,
mother something with that money. Like, why are you spending money? Like, we spend our money on so many useless, and I mean it from the depth of my heart.
Felt.
Useless. There is absolutely no purpose for people to be spending more than $250,000 on alcohol. I was watching this TikTok, and the girls were even bragging. The guys were asking, it's a podcast, they're like, oh, how much has a man dropped on you guys? So like, the other was like, yeah, 250K. Like, it's nothing. Do you know how much 250K is?
That's an investment right there.
And years later, the same guy that dropped that amount doesn't even have investments, doesn't have insurance, you're not ready, you're not prepared. I see that as being careless. You're careless with your life. You shouldn't be careless with your life. Yeah.
So my last question for the night is one that I've actually spoken about on my page. It's actually having boundaries to black tax, because a lot of my viewership is they're black, and I'm not going to hide away. We are in South Africa, and we are mentioning, like you said, you have people that sometimes you have your siblings who actually rely on you, and it's an everyday thing. It's not something we can avoid as much as we want to. And for me, it's one of those reasons why I need to make sure I also build wealth, because guys, we can't go for every generation the next. Something needs to break. But while we're here, setting those boundaries, how do you set those boundaries? How do you tell them politely no? Respectfully,
you can't even say no. That's such a hard. Listen, my boundaries are not that hectic with my family, because one, thank God, I don't have siblings that are entitled. Let's start there. When I started giving my little sisters, because I told myself that, listen, like I said, we're 7 at home. I'm the 5th one. So I have 2 little sisters after me, and then these ones are older than me. I said, you know what? Those ones are not my responsibility. They are old enough.
They are living. Yeah.
So these 2, when I started giving them the little that I could, it's not like a huge amount. No, the little. Like I told them, I'm like, listen, this is how much I'm willing to give you guys, and it's just an allowance, just to say, go buy my stock sweets and whatever. You know what I mean? Because my little sisters, even when I got the job there, even though they knew how much, my little sisters know how much I get paid, by the way.
Yes.
They're still not entitled.
They have these conversations with
because I told them, my money is my money. Now you will never black text me. Me, I never. I never, not me, not like money. But then again, like I said, I don't come from a family that's entitled. And so I find it, my purpose, one of my purpose on earth is to take care of my family however I can. And that's also taking care of my little sisters. Like I said, I took it upon myself to just give the little that I can to them. When it started at first, I remember one of them saying, it's not a lot of money. I'm like, okay. It's a little that I can give you, not as a joke, And I continued, like I was still consistent. I still am. And then when I came back from Egypt, because Egypt and Dubai, 2 weeks of traveling,
the bank was broken.
It was a bit shaky there by the bank account. So one of them, I spoke to her, I'm like, I don't think this month I'm gonna be able to give you guys that allowance, you know what I mean? And then she's like, okay, because that's a little sister that I taught how to do hair. So she still continues to work, and also she's still making her own coins. Exactly, because I taught her, I'm like, my money is my money. If I give you that money, it's because I want to, not because you're entitled to it. And then the other one calls me like, dog, you need to make a plan. And it's so funny, the other one that said that is the one that I was saying was a lot of money at first. So with my family, my little sisters are my soft spots. But I do have boundaries with other, like if you're my relative, then to a certain extent, it depends. It depends how serious the thing is, and if I'm able to. But I've also learned that, hey, don't give family money outside your blood family, because sometimes it won't return. You You must just make peace with the fact that it might not return.
The donation, it's a gift, you know.
Let it go.
I hear you.
So, and then my friends don't ask me for money. I have quite independent friends. My friends are like me. I wouldn't ask my friends for money, even if I was in the dark pits. I won't ask you for money. I'd rather ask my boyfriend.
Because
I'm not asking my friends for money. So I have boundaries. I make them known. But I don't know. I have people that are quite not entitled in my life, and my mom doesn't ask me for money. And those that do, I say no. And then my little sisters, my nephews, my niece, those are the people that are my ultimate witness. Even if like I give them my last, I will give them my last. Sharp, as long as there's food in the fridge type thing. So yeah, that's where I draw the line. God, like take family blood outside.
It's tricky there. It's just donating to
outside, no. Sometimes, but majority of the time, no.
Yeah. But I think you're right. It's really, really important to just have these boundaries and to say no, because you know, for me, I struggle with that sometimes, and I'm glad you can. I'm gonna learn from you, like
it's
respectfully.
No, I'm not saying. Sometimes I feel like. Because there's this other time, like when if you ask me for money, and then I wanted to taste and gauge, because I was like, again, Egypt, Dubai showed me flames, so I was going through it all financially and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, how much do you want? Are you mad? It's a economy. Chef, I'll give you what I can. So I ended up giving him what I could. But I couldn't say no, because I know also he's not like entitled to my money. I think that's the thing. You know, people that are not entitled to my money, I'm more than welcome to send you the money. I don't even, like, if it's friends, majority of my friends have businesses. I support them however I can. I will buy from you. I will do this and that. That's my way of being a financially supportive friend. I buy from my friends' businesses to support them, because I want them to win as well at the end of the day.
I mean, we all have to win. We all have to.
We all have to eat, my darling. We all have to eat. Yeah.
Definitely. You know, I think you've really just, you know, like touched on so many important things. Like, firstly, your network. Like, from what you were saying, I can tell that you're saying that basically you said your friends are independent, they're business owners. It's also very important, if you're going into this financial freedom journey, you need to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. I mean, we can't be partying every day and then you're gonna wonder why actually I'm not going to this goal. You know, we need to have a common goal, even in our friendships. And money is a tough chat to have in friendships, but I mean, when you have like the friends you have, the character you have, it actually shows in the people you attract and the people that you actually, you know, end up surrounding yourself with. So I'm like, you know, big ups to you on that. And like, actually, you know, like you may not even realize it, but you're curating your network, you're curating your future like business partners and people. You're like, I have a guy, and that guy is like I have a like this contact. It's heavy, guys. You don't just call, but I can, because I've been there from day one supporting. But also just the boundaries conversation. I think you really, you know, you're highlighting a lot of things like, just actually helping those with what you can. I think that's very important to always remember, that you don't have to give, you know, the biggest amount. What you can is enough. If somebody doesn't see it as enough, then like that's on them. But
if you don't see it as enough, I'm never sending you money. I will never send you money.
No, valid, because that means you're not grateful.
Yeah,
like
at the end of the day, it's my money. I think that's the thing that people need to understand, you know.
And you work
the
for
conversation I always have with my friends, like I said, like my friends are quite independent and stuff, but also people that are in and around. You know, when you meet people and you just have conversations, and there's this also topic about how should you be entitled to your man's money or whatever, and whatever. The guys, at the end of the day, whether they're Jolo or not, that's his money. Make your money, woman. And I was about to make a point that when we went to that talk, the investment one, we were both probably the youngest and young,
we were
female, and black. You know what I mean? It just shows you that room was filled with a lot of old white men.
Definitely.
It just shows you that we are in a society where women are too relaxed. Listen, my man is successful.
But
that's his money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
His money is his money. When I ask him, don't think I don't. I ask him for money. You know, if he can, he will. If he can't, he will. And that's fine. I'm not gonna break up with my boyfriend just because he didn't give me money. It's his money. But you need to do as a woman as well, because at the end of the day, dominion was given to men and women, not only men. Dominion was given to men and women. Go make your own money, hey. If when you want to travel at your earliest convenience or whatever, go make your own money. Go outside and make your own money. So, you know, take away, invest young, start with the little that you can. Be faithful with what you have now. 10 rand, you might think is not a lot, but it is. The start. I always say this, just start.
Literally.
Just start. But I was surprised when I checked my investments, like literally this week. I'm like, girl,
you got a big
in 2 years. In 2 years. Like literally January is my birth month. It's my birthday month. Like literally 2 years in Jan is when I started, and it's already sitting on 6 figures.
Wow.
Just start. The little that you have is enough. You're gonna look at it and be like, yo, that's actually quite a lot.
It's yes, and I think that's very important, because people think like, you know, if I need to start investing, if I need to start saving,
but 1 million, come on.
Literally, like you said, 10 rand can grow. Like, if what you have is 10 rand, then put that 10 rand away. Literally, after 10 months, get 100 rand, and it's 100 rand that nobody gave you. It's you that you put it away. And if you put it in an investment, it's not even going to be 100 rand. It's going to be more than that, because your money is working for you while you work to bring in more, you know.
Right.
So,
and it says about you as a person. It talks about your discipline. It talks about how much you respect yourself. You know, the way you use your money says a lot about the person that you are. You know, I always have these conversations with my boyfriend, and I ask him, do you have investments? I look at his spending habits. How does he spend money?
Because, I mean, this is going to affect us.
Yeah, like, how does this man spend money? Is it reckless? Is he the one that can go to a club and pop off? That, to me, that I can't be with a person like that. I can't date a person like that. I can't marry a person like that, because what does that say? When we get married, where now you're gonna be focused on what people think. What if there's a season in our life where we have to downgrade our lifestyle? You're not gonna want to do that, because now you're thinking about what will other people think. Why do you care about what people think? You know, so I look at those habits. So literally, same to us, the way I look at my friends, the way they spend money. I know there's certain friends that I wouldn't do certain things with based on the way they spend money. And it says a lot about you. You lack discipline. You don't know how to manage your finances. If you don't know how to manage your finances, how are you going to manage your life? How are you going to manage your household? How are you going to manage your family? It says a lot about you. So if you're disciplined to just start with the little that you have, right? And when God sees, or this one is faithful with the little,
he definitely will.
1 million in a bank account.
You know, when you're like,
where does it come from?
Just test me with this, and
you get me. Like, all of a sudden, somebody's gonna be like, I just see how dedicated and disciplined you are. Here's a cash injection of 10,000.
Yes,
I believe in miracles. You know what I mean?
Me too. I'm not opposed.
Listen, start with the little that you can. Don't lifestyle here, man. We'll pop off once we have the money. Why do you think 50-year-olds are popping off in clubs? That's because they're using their pension. Marijuana, they're wrong to pop it off in the club.
That's a conversation for a different day.
I digress.
Let's come back, reconvene. So, it's been honestly a really great time chatting to you. I'm appreciating the insights you brought to this conversation, the banter, the humor. I just love the way that you brought yourself to this conversation. And, I'm pretty sure people watching this and even the little bits we're going to create from this, they're going to definitely be like, wow, there were so many nuggets, there were so many things I've learned from you, even myself, you challenging me, and this is my niche. I'm like, oh,
Girl.
actually, and I really thank you for that. I'm so grateful that you joined this live. I'm grateful you said yes, and I'm so
I
glad.
can't say yeah. I can't say no. I couldn't say no, man.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you.
you met me.
At a financial
You
talk.
spoke. The
So you knew
fact
where
that
my
you
mind
met
was at.
opportunity, then you spoke. Right?
Mm,
That's what you need. Had you just said, "Oh, are you a content creator?" and I say yes, and then you pass by.
true.
Sometimes we have opportunities, but we don't take those opportunities. Then you further asked, "Hey, listen, how do you grow?" So listen, when you have that mindset, you're good.
Wow.
You're good for life. You're good. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take. You're
But
good.
you're good.
You're
Yes.
good. Yeah. So thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's really been a pleasure. And look, we should do this again. I really think there's
For
so much to learn
sure.
from. There's so much more conversations to
A
have.
lot. 30 minutes is not enough. Look now.
Look
We're
now,
even
and I
an
literally
hour.
30 minutes. But anyway, I really do enjoy your evening. Thank you to everyone that's joined in. We really hope this session was informative. And just from what we're going to share from the session, we hope that it's going to help you in your daily lives.
Yeah.
As we're all trying to be financially free, and it's one day at a time, man. One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.